deck the halls. Okay, ignore that, but in all seriousness, we are about to deck the halls in this gorgeous red and gold glam Christmas tree style using our 4-step process that anybody can follow. We're gonna break it down into layers to help you achieve this look in your home. So let's get started. Step 1 is our topper, and we're gonna use all of these florals and sprays at the top of the tree. This is gonna help you create a really polished look and be the crowning jewel of your Christmas tree. So let's start with the individual spray styles that we're gonna put into the top. When I'm choosing spray styles, I like to look for a variety of textures, and I always choose stems with height. So let me show you what we've got here. A beautiful champagne leaf, love the little wispy pieces there, followed by this iced berry. It's a gorgeous deep red color. One of my all-time favorites, just a nice texture. And then this beaded leaf as well. And then I always love to cap the topper with some florals. So I've got a really pretty gold champagne and then a red floral too. This is gonna help create the transition into the body of the tree. For this topper, I'm using 3 stems of each style. And a lot of times I'll go one style at a time, but I'm gonna try something a little bit different. For this time, I'm gonna use 1 of each style, and I'm gonna place it, and then I'm gonna come around and do the same thing, and then I'll do it on the back. And I'm starting with this piece because it's the biggest, bulkiest stem that we have. And I'm just gonna run that straight along the pole. And I'm gonna use the branches of the tree itself to twist it to give it a little bit of extra support. See, it's straight down and then twist. I'm also doing it at the top and at the base. You don't need to do that on every stem, but some of the first stems that I place, that gives it the extra support. Okay, now I'm gonna come in with this leaf. It's a different texture. It's gonna provide a lot of height. My red one's next. I love this stem. And I wanna create a little bit of I call it a poof effect. So when I'm placing this one, these are wired stems, so you wanna kind of bend those out a little bit. And then my last stem that I'm gonna place is this beautiful beaded leaf. Let's just open that up. If you like a really full topper, you can use anywhere from 5 to 7 stems per style. Usually we recommend about 4 to 5 styles each. This one's not super full, so I'm using 3 of each. 3 is great because it kind of gives us the symmetry around the tree, but if you do like a bigger topper, just add a few extras of each style. Okay, all of my sprays are placed. I do recommend standing on the floor and looking at it for symmetry, and then it's a lot of trial and error, so move them around till you get it the way that you like. And then the next thing that I like to do is create a floral cap right here at the base. Using my champagne floral and the red floral I showed you earlier. So I'm gonna angle the head out, and then this is gonna run along the pole. All right, use the greenery to twist it around. See, it almost looks like a continuation of your topper. Okay, and then we're gonna come in with the red one. Again, we wanna angle the head out, and I don't want it right next to it, so I'm gonna go up just a little ways. Okay, and since I have 3 sets of those florals, I'm gonna go ahead and place one over here and then one on the back side as well. Step 2 of our 4-step process is the ribbon. I love ribbon. And guys, these do not disappoint. They're fabulous. So I've got a beautiful red velvet. This is a nice, just kind of solid ribbon that's gonna be our base layer. And then guys, this is really amazing, but this is our accent ribbon. So a lot of times I'll use a more embellished ribbon as an accent because it is a little bit more of an investment, but you don't need as much for the accent. So for a 9-foot tree, we usually recommend 30 to 40 yards of your main body ribbon, which it's gonna be these 2 paired together, and then usually about 10 yards of accent. For 7.5-foot tree, 20 to 30 yards, depending on how full your tree is. And then for a 12-foot tree, usually 50 to 60 yards. Okay, we're gonna pair those on top of each other. And we're gonna create a little simple bow right here at the base. And then we'll work in series of billows and tails. So let's start with the tail. And if you notice, I've kind of got the ribbon rolls tucked into the tree, just because it's easier to work that way. But we're gonna start with the loop. So it's almost like you're folding it and then twist, because what we're doing, we're bringing that pretty side back to the top, and then we're gonna make another loop here. Twist. Okay, you can already tell how gorgeous that is. We're gonna tuck it right there, and we're gonna use the actual branches of the tree to hold it in place. And then also what I wanna do, we wanna finish the end, so I'm gonna cut at a diagonal, creating a little bit of a fishtail. Just makes it look a little bit nicer. And then we're gonna take our hand and kind of run it through. See how we're getting that really pretty shape, and then we're gonna tuck it in, wrap the branch, and we're gonna cut a tail. Now, if you followed us for any length of time, you've seen me do accent ribbon different ways. Sometimes I'll hold this till the end and then just kind of tuck it into different pockets. I am gonna add this on top of the ribbon we already placed, and what it's gonna do, it's gonna create what looks like a more elaborate bow. But you know I like simple, so we're gonna do it the easy way. So let's start by making a tail. And then we're gonna do just a one loop. So fold it, twist, and then we're gonna lay that just right on top of the ribbon we've already placed. So I'm opening that branch back up and I'm just tucking it right into the same branch. And then there's different things you can do with this. You could cut it, I think I'm gonna just come in like onto a different branch so it's not following the same curve. And then we'll cut that. Now guys, when you invest in a good quality wired ribbon, it's really gonna hold its shape. So you can mold it and meld it to get kind of the look that you want. Yeah, so pretty. And then we also have to fishtail this, of course. Gorgeous. Okay, now what we're gonna do is we're gonna work that same process going around the tree in kind of a zigzag formation. So I usually will come over and start midpoint of our first continuation of ribbon. So, and I don't always do them exactly the same. So like that one had 2 small loops at the top. This one I'm just gonna start with 1 small loop at the top. All right, so let's tuck that there, wrap that around. And then since we're kind of more to this side, let's pull this loop over, open it up. And then I'm actually gonna do a second loop to this side. Okay, and then I'm gonna leave a tail and cut at a diagonal. All right, I'm gonna come in with my accent ribbon. On that one, we stuck it in the top loop, but I'm actually gonna stick it here because I think it's gonna break up that long continuation. So for this one, let's do 2 loops. So fold, twist, fold, and twist. And again, this is great for an accent ribbon. We don't have to use near as much, but we're still getting that bling and that pop of color. So I'm coming down just 1 row, tucking it in, and then I'll cut a tail. I really like that white in there. It's very pretty. All right, we just finished the second step of our 4-step process, the ribbon. I love the way it looks. We're gonna move into our 3rd step now, which is our florals and sprays layer. Guys, it's really just layering and anybody can do this. We're gonna start this layer with what we call floral clusters, kind of like little tree bouquets, but it's a combination of florals and sprays that we're gonna marry into one piece and then kind of weave them through the tree. They're great because they take up a lot of space on your tree. Okay, these are the 2 sprays that we're gonna be using, and we want to lay them on top of each other. Like we want this to look like one piece. Kind of like that. And then we're gonna come in with our 2 florals. These are the same ones we used at the topper. And lay it across, and we're gonna bend the head up. And then I'm gonna come in with the red poinsettia. I like this pairing, it's a magnolia and a poinsettia because they're 2 different shapes. So we'll lay that on top and again, angle it out. So see how pretty? And then you don't have to do this, but I like to do it. Take one of the stems and twist it. So this is gonna make this one piece, which is great because I can just throw them in my tubs at the end of the season and pull them out next year. So there we go. All right, I'm gonna start kind of in this area and then I'll come over here, weaving through in a zigzag formation. Since my stems are so long and I'm starting at the skinnier part of the tree, I'm gonna go ahead and bend them. And then what I wanna do is run that along the branch at an angle. So these are gonna cascade down out of the tree. And when I go in, I want to use the branch to wrap it around and hold it in place. Next, I'm coming down here. I'm going to place my next one kind of in this area. And then I'm going to continue that process all the way around. A good rule of thumb on clusters is use your tree size to get the right quantity. Unless you have a really full tree, that generally works. So like for a 9-foot tree, not counting the topper, but just the body of the tree, 9 clusters is a great number. Once my clusters are placed, I'm going to come in with some single stem flowers. These are going to go in between the clusters, zigzagging through the tree. Next are my single stem sprays, and I've got a great variety of textures here. This is where we start getting the dimension and the interest to our tree. But I've got a great red one. This one opens up really nice. The beaded leaf that we used in the topper. I love this stem, but it's a jeweled bead branch. And then some great berry stems. We're gonna start one style at a time, starting with the beautiful frosted crabapple. It's gonna come compact, so let's open it up. And that way when we run the stem up, it's gonna cascade out and give a lot of texture. And I'm gonna go ahead and place all of the stems in that style. Our next style is this frosted crabapple. This is a huge stem, so it's gonna cover up a lot of area. And when we're decorating trees, really what we're doing is we're filling in the area. So the bigger the pieces, the more it's gonna scale and fill in the space appropriately. So I'm gonna start kind of at the top again. I wanna open it so it cascades and gives a lot of texture. And then again, we're gonna run up. And I'm gonna use the branches of the tree itself to wire it in place. Now I'm going to continue working all the rest of that style. Okay, I wasn't planning to do this, but I do feel like I need some of that color up in that area, and it's so big, so I'm actually going to break this into 2 pieces. And I went ahead and did it on a second stem too. You can wrap this around if it kind of falls apart when you do that. All right, I'm gonna continue the process with the rest of my sprays, just zigzagging through the tree one style at a time. And guys, if you love this tree, this is our classic Christmas bundle. And what that means is you can buy all the decor. It doesn't come with the tree, but it's all the flowers, ribbon, ornaments, and sprays that you see here to recreate this look in your own home. And it's so easy because we ship it to you, and then you have the tutorial video that shows you how to set it up. So you can find these at decoratorswarehouse.com, and I'll stick it in the comments as well. Also, if you like the individual pieces shown here too, all of these are available in our classic Christmas collection. We're going into our 4th and final step, which is our ornaments. This is where we're gonna fill the inside of the tree, and that's why I wait until last, so I can see where those holes are. I'm gonna start with my shatterproof. Got a couple different colors and shapes. I'm gonna work one style at a time, zigzagging through the tree, and then I'll come back with my glass ornaments, and wait till you see the glass, because it is stunning. So for the shatterproof, you don't have to do this, but I find that it helps. I'll put a little bit of floral wire onto the ornament itself, and then I can use that to wrap around the branch. So when I secure it, it's going like this, and it's holding the ornament really close to the greenery. That way you don't see any strings, it's just nice and tight to the branch. Also with the shatterproof, you can see I'm going into the tree a little bit, anywhere from like 1/3 of the way in to maybe half of the branch down. And we don't want them all at exactly the same depth. Some you're gonna wanna tuck further in, some you're gonna wanna bring forward. That's what kind of gives it that designer custom look. All right, we're gonna go ahead and place the glass now. Like I said, it's stunning. We have a couple different shapes like this long finial, beautiful hobnail, and then a matching ball. Okay, when I place the glass also, I do like to use wire on these. Again, because we want it to be held close to the branch. And also a lot of the time, some of the glass is heavier, like that hobnail one. So this allows you to get close. Also another tip, if you have a pre-lit tree, Any of the branches with the light is a wired branch, which means that it's going to be a stronger branch and a good one to wire your ornaments to. All right, guys, that's it. We finished our 4-step process on this beautiful classic Christmas bundle. Be sure to check us out at decoratorswarehouse.com. We also have a retail store in Arlington, Texas, and we're on Facebook, Instagram, and Pinterest as well. Merry Christmas and happy decorating.